Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I am making a scene from Spirited Away, and it's actually my favorite anime. I loved watching it. It is kind of close to my heart. So today I am drawing this scene, and here actually I'll just tag along as I keep painting it. So at first I started with a very dark graphite pencil, and it became really dark. So I needed to make it like a little lighter. So I needed the eraser to erase it a little bit and make it light. And I actually made this painting on a paper of A6 size, and it is a paper from Brustro, and it is 300 GSM. So I use gouache on this, has the properties of both acrylic and watercolor, so I use the properties at its most. So to just divide in the sky from the water, I just put a tape on it for a more sharper border line. And I went in with the blues. I used basically one blue. Blue is a cerulean blue. It's a 113 of Brustro's gouache color. That's the blue I use almost everywhere in this painting. Even for the sky and the clouds, I use the same blue. And right now I'm using the cobalt blue because for the highlights and the darker part, I was kind of just like figuring out how to use and where to actually put the colors to make them like really work. And it was my first time painting clouds also, like Studio Ghibli clouds. So I was kind of just figuring out as I went with the painting. And as you can see, they were very it was the white part was really in abundance in the scene, so I had to use more white to actually bring out those highlights. And that's what I did here. I went in with the white gouache as much as I could to just take those parts out and make them look more highlighted. I and I'm kind of satisfied with this. It was a good one, and painting Studio Ghibli movie scenes is really super relaxing. So I think that's why I paint them mostly. And especially this movie is an iconic movie, and I love painting it throughout. So as I went along, I just went in with blues and whites, mostly whites right now because I use too much blue already. So as you can see, even after I took out the tape, the paint kind of it bleeded a little bit. So I was trying to like cover it up using for the clouds. I for this first I already outlined the clouds, so I just went in with the blue over the sky part, and for the clouds I used gray, and kind of I mixed a little bit of blue to the gray also. So yeah, the paint that already went out of the boundaries, I kind of covered it up. And as I told you, I it was my first time drawing Studio Ghibli Clouds, so it was a kind of a figuring out process. I figured out how to make the clouds seem more natural as I went along, and at the very as I started with the clouds, I just went in with grays because that's what's most there to shadow the parts and make the clouds look more natural. As you can see in the scene, it was more like that, so I needed it to come out like that. So yeah, I went in as well. I kept the figure of Chihiro for the very end because I thought that would be the best thing I can do, because if somehow any colors went in the character, it will be a disaster. So I just went with the clouds, and after I was almost halfway through the clouds, I figured it was uh, kind of becoming a messy business, and I couldn't there's not much whiter parts left for the clouds, for that shining clouds that was in the movie scene. So for that, again I went to my white gouache, and I took the gouache in more abundance than I would have naturally. So I first added the shadows as much as I could using a little bit of black and grays, and then I went in with the white gouache over the white parts that I already left to actually cover up all the parts, to actually bring out the more natural clouds. I tried using, as you can see, I tried using very little white color here, but it didn't work. So I had to go with more intense white in there, and I didn't mix any water to this white, just went with the color. I didn't use any water here, so the white kind of helped me bring out the correct highlights of the cloud, and it kind of just brought the painting back to life, I think, because somehow the painting was losing its I think the most used color in this painting was white. I used white almost everywhere, from the clouds to the um, water. I used white almost everywhere, even more than the blues. I think I used white here. White was the key element, I think, and I used mostly dry brushes to rectify my mistakes, to soak up the paint. And I went in with very little blues in the cloud part. And I kept trying to figure out the clouds as much as I could, and I think it turned out pretty good. At one point, I kept using a part of the painting. The clouds wasn't really good, so I kept adding grays, but it became more messed up. So at last, I just went in with white and covered it all with white, and then I again went with dark gray and made the shadows. I think I made the clouds pretty much uh, decent, and I like them. It was my first time painting Studio Ghibli clouds, and I think I did pretty good as a first timer. At the end, as I told you, I kept Chiro for the end, and so I went in to color Chihiro at the very end with the usual dress. I'm sorry for my thumb. I didn't realize that my hand was like covering the camera at that point. I wanted to include every part of the video, so I didn't really trim off this part. So I'm sorry if this bothers you in any way. At the end, the only thing was left was Chihiro's shadow in the water, like her reflection. It took me a while to like figure out how to actually shape her shadow, but at the end, I think it turned out pretty well. And at the end, like it was kind of bothering me without any outline. Chiro wasn't really looking very good, and it wasn't very prominent, so I outlined it using a little black. So I think you guys enjoyed it. Let me know how it was, and any suggestions for coming videos are appreciated. Thanks for watching, and peace.